reason you don't have what you want is because you still want it too much. The Stoics didn't chase things, they became things. They didn't beg the world to change. They became the kind of men the world had to obey. This isn't about hack. This isn't about hope. This is about taking ancient, unbreakable Stoic laws and turning them into modern power. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire without losing his soul. Epictetus had nothing, yet walked freer than kings. Seneca mastered wealth, time, and death with calm hands. What did they know that you don't? In this video, you'll learn the 9 Stoic secrets to make everything you want happen quietly, relentlessly, without losing your edge. This isn't motivation. This is mental armor. Let's begin. Secret number 1. Desire less, command more. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Epictetus declared it is gained by ignoring events outside of our influence. This is tactical rather than merely philosophical idea. The man hooked on results is not free. He is enslaved by unseen links. His feelings swing with every success or defeat. His identity swings with the market, depending on likes, prestige, and permission from someone else. The Stoic knows when you bleed more, the more you need. Apatheia, or reasoned detachment, is not weakness for this reason. It is not about being frigid. It has to do with clarity. You stop acting out of fear when you cut yourself off from depending on results. You move out of strength, the despair vanishes, and so does your susceptibility to manipulation. Most people mix effectiveness with intensity. They believe the cosmos will work in their favor if they desire something sufficiently bad. But Stoicism reveals that false impression. While wanting harder has no results, discipline does. One prevails with self-control. Stillness indeed prevails. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within you, in your way of thinking." Picture that your ambitions are out there as you have been told. The car, the body, the house, the dignity, the title. The Stoics understood it is not the thing that counts. It is the mind approaching the object. 2 things follow when you want less. First, you start by eliminating the bait. Promises of pleasure or position cannot control you. You start to feel untouchable mentally. That marketing can't get to you. You do not need it. The individual, though you may not want their attention, you would like to share life with them. The arrangement is numb. You will labor for it, but your value is not online. People find that degree of self-possession bewildering. They follow you because of it, for they understand your authority is not for sale. Second, you command more. Since your behavior is not reflexive, you are not frantically swinging from hope to panic. You are grounded, and your approach becomes powerful when you act from a place of inner harmony. You stop trying to wow them. You behave to influence. You give up looking for results. You prioritize systems, habits, and rituals. You act as required without asking for the outcome. Seneca said simply, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." That does not exclude you from dreaming. You are not a slave to the fantasy. You are the kind of person who can pursue fervently without being addicted. Someone who can construct with intent and not break if it falls short. Screaming at life to give you more does not win. You prevail by accomplishing more and needing less. That peaceful power which does not change with the waves of feeling draws people in. Possibilities follow it. Resources answer to it. The reason is because power doesn't scream. It speaks quietly, and the planet pays great attention. Therefore, let others pursue. Let others thirst to guide you. Let others pray to the gods of luck and post bragging. You build silence methodically, like it is already your possession. Desiring less means you cease waiting for permission, and at that point you truly begin to command. Secret number 2, turn every obstacle into a weapon. The impediment to action advances action. Marcus Aurelius said, imparting the ageless Stoic discipline. What gets in front of us becomes our path. Most individuals find those words to be lyrical when they hear them. The Stoic develops a fighting strategy based on those words. The Stoic makes impediments invitations rather than interruptions. Resistance does not mark the end of life. Resistance is what life is about, and what you do with it shapes everything. You were designed to exploit hardship, not avoid it. Rejecting someone sharpens your purpose. It does not define you. Failure does not imply cessation. Rather, it indicates you are strengthening your will. Life delivers a punch. You stay forward rather than withdraw. You never fall. You turn. You count. You keep ahead with a colder mind and a better knife. To a Stoic, failure is not a constant. Only fuel exists. The world can ruin your plans, dash your aspirations, rob you of what you thought you needed. It cannot, however, touch your objective unless you give it up. That is the essence of the Stoic difference. He maintains his composure. He does not only bear the impact, he makes use of it. Seneca remarked precisely, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body. The Stoic does not harp on adversity. He predicts it. He develops the kind of inner armor most guys never know. The weak man seeks solace. The Stoic desires clarity, and the edge of pressure is the one thing that clarifies everything. Adversity is the truth serum nature uses. It exposes what is mushy, phony, and weak. It reveals the falsehoods you have told yourself, that you were prepared, that you followed rules, that you understood control. Every illusion dies with the storm, and in its place, something stronger emerges. If you are ready to spend long enough in the fire, Epictetus told us, you are not your body or possessions, but your choices. When challenge presents itself, your decisions define you, not your situation, not your justification. The Stoic worries not about fate. He argues not with the universe. He adapts. He listens to the suffering, trying to impart lessons. He refines. He acts once again as well. The Stoic knows that suffering is not the adverse. Stillness is, and each time you strike and remain standing, you gain depth, something no success can ever offer. You develop into someone the world cannot ignore, someone who has seen hell and strolls over it, someone who rebuilds something better out of the debris, instead of folding when things break apart. You want your wishes to come true. Start by converting anything that comes against you into something for you. Go with the insight. Embrace the setback. Accept the failure. Break it down. Turn it into a focus point. How the Stoic turns life into a weapon. Your path is not blocked by this impediment. This is how it is. Put an end to dodging it. Get going using it. Secret number 3. Show up without emotion. Leave with results. Seneca advised, the greatest remedy for anger is delay, but it's every feeling that challenges your clarity, not just rage. That very small pause separating impulse from action, that is where power resides. The Stoic differentiates himself from the crazed hordes in this way. When others respond, he waits. Where others let out steam, he breathes. He goes beyond suppression of feeling by using control. Everything shouts for attention these days. News headlines, social media, conflicts, distractions. Everyone wants you to experience emotions, to become enraged, to panic, to overjoy, to search for validation. But the Stoic knows you get more predictable the more reactive you are. You will also be more easily defeated the more predictable you are. What then is his alternative activity? He exercises himself to remain indifferent. Still, in the middle of anarchy, he focuses narrowly on the noise. Others fly wildly between the highs and lows, but he stays grounded like a mountain anchored through the storm because he is aware. Emotions skew perception. Hyperbole blinds reasoning. Desperate actions are executed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Understand this, and you will discover strength. Not always can you control what shows up. Still, your presentation is always under your control. And that is the core of Stoic discipline. Show up with organization, act deliberately, and leave with outcomes. The Stoic is not driven by feel like it. He does not work with justifications. Drama does not capture his attention. His allegiance is to his rituals. He gets up, trains, works, studies, sharpens, and muses daily, day in and day out. He does not lament the defeats or overindulge in celebrating the victories. He keeps coming up until what he envisioned materializes. Epictetus advised, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The world does not need another person discussing perspective. Someone who moves with skill is needed. Calm mastery, not much hype, only action. And you start to rule surroundings when you run like that. That is when you show up devoid of feeling and move like a machine. People struggle to control that energy. You move peacefully. You close agreements, lift weights, smash goals underfoot. Not because you felt on fire, but rather because you gave fire to every circumstance. Silently, steadily, unquestioningly, your rivals are not going to grasp it. You will seem lucky to them, but there was nothing lucky about it. Your quiet is what they sense. You are neutral. Your choice of action rather than reaction. And it's that psychological edge that rules life, relationships, business, and battle. You become untouchable when you move devoid of feeling. You cannot be lured. You cannot be managed. You cannot be taken off course. You start to regulate the speed, setting the beat. Everybody else is conjecture. You're performing. So show up without feeling. Let your competitors burn out, panic, and yell. You will go, carrying the result. Peace, cold gathered like a real Stoic, created not by emotions but rather discipline. Secret number 4, control the inner war first. Reminding us, Epictetus says, no man is free who is not master of himself. And he is describing the battleground, where most people fall before they even start. Not some lyrical ideal, but an actual fight waged between instinct and aim, fear and discipline, chaos and clarity. The real war is in the quiet of your own mind. You now see it. The man with all the tools, all the talent, all the opportunity, but his insecurities govern him. He pauses, he muses on it. He starts to doubt himself and becomes paralyzed. That is not a sign of poor faith. That is internal strife. The Stoic confronts the disorder, not letting it fester. Marcus Aurelius understood this quite intimately. You have power over your mind, not outside events, he said. Understand this, and you will discover strength. The Stoic lays that as his basis. He does not try to run the planet. He does not yell at the breeze. He studies it, adjusts to it, and most significantly, orders himself. He wins thus as a result, softly with great precision, constantly. Most people wish for outside control, a better work environment, another partner, more financial means, more rank. Stillness, however, turns the equation upside down. You achieve control by controlling the inside. Repairing the outer does not help you get it. Your decisions become deadly if your ideas are clear, focused, acute, concentrated, and proficient. Emotion or impulse does not send you off path. You behave with accuracy. Real freedom resides in that area. Seneca once penned, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." That is the daily reality of most individuals. They experience fictional calamities from hypothetical debates, devoid of evidence, from rejections that never happened, from future events that might never arrive. Their consciousness turns from a tool to a torture chamber. Not the Stoic, though. He sees the intellect as a soldier on alert. He considers his ideas. He draws truth apart from the story. He studies every feeling. He does not identify with all of them. He understands that the fastest way to lose your strength is with an undisciplined mentality. And a calm mind is the deadliest weapon available. One knows when someone has become proficient in something, they move in a different manner. Desperation is not present. Rule 5, build inner strength. There is not any worried energy. They do not need to chat too much. They are not dependent on permission. They exude control. The world responds to that frequency because people, possibilities, and results are naturally drawn to order, and the rarest signal in a chaotic environment is inner order. Thus, ask yourself, are you guiding your thoughts or are you letting them guide you? Are your thoughts your warden or your weapon? Your path to power cannot be one of cheating. You have to create it alone, quietly, in the field of theory. You build your strength in there. First, control your inner conflict, not by power, but by consciousness, introspection, and decision. Do that, and you will begin to notice something odd. The outside world begins to bend in your direction because the outward follows when the within is conquered each time. Secret number 5. Practice negative visualization. Every night before sleep, Seneca developed a strong and unusual practice of considering the worst that could happen. He remarked, "He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand." This was armor rather than anxiety. This was the ancient Stoic habit of premeditatio malorum, to visualize in great detail anything that might go wrong. I hope you find this optimized script suitable for AI voice narration. It sounds sad at first. Why then sit and picture the worst? Why bring grief into the room before it ever knocks? Real fear or terror only grows in the dark. It stalks the shadows of what we avoid. Stoicism is about dragging that anxiety into the light and piece by piece destroying it. The Stoic does not flinch when considering possible disaster. He does not reject it. He practices it and then lets it flow. Marcus Aurelius told himself, "You could drop off right now from life. Let that define your actions, words, and thoughts." This isn't about morbidity. Instead, it had urgency. Pay attention to accuracy. Stop wasting time trying to convince yourself that things can fall apart. Start living and behaving with crisp, pure intensity because you are not attempting to flee loss. You have taken its hand. Let us dissect it. The corporate agreement falls apart. Losing the job occurs. The individual turns to go. The effort collapses. The money disappears. Picture all of it, not to catastrophize, but to inoculate, to grab the power of fear before it grabs you. Once you embrace the worst, act without thinking twice. Do not obsess too much. Do not feel hopeless. Keep ahead since loss no longer paralyzes you. You have already looked at it closely. In that distance, you become dangerous in the best sense. Results do not define who you are. Your guiding principle is intention. Most individuals live enslaved by fear. They never identify it. They shun risk because they never thought they could survive the fall. Not because they are weak, but the Stoic, he had already lived it in his imagination. By doing so, he releases its hold. He moves cleanly, free from fancy, from fear, from terror. Epictetus took direct aim at this. Our opinions about things disturb us. It is not things themselves. Therefore, the Stoic uses visualization to change his viewpoint. He portrays the worst-case scenario, not to linger, but to dissolve. He rises above it by making peace with collapse. This is not pessimism, it is emancipation. The Stoic dreams not of a perfect future. He gets ready for every scenario. In doing so, he travels through life with something most never find: calm under duress. The truth is that nothing can stop you if you have already made peace with the worst. There are no fangs to the anxiety. The what-ifs cannot physically reach you. And this is where actual power starts. Not in blind hope, but in honest readiness. Try negative visualization. Not to go through it twice, but to never endure it at all. Once you embrace the fall, nothing will stop you from climbing. Secret number 6, be unfazed. Be unstoppable. Although Marcus Aurelius had the most potent empire on earth, he wanted authority over himself rather than over others. You control your mind, not outside circumstances. Understanding this will help you to get strength. That one line is the Stoic roadmap for unwavering resilience in an unstable environment. The present society values loud voices, continuous movements, and ostentatious displays of ambition. But the Stoic man plays another game. He isn't running wild. He is not in great need. He isn't looking for approval. He is grounded. That is, in fact, the reason chaos bends around him. When the market collapses, he does not. He says nothing when chatter breaks out. He notes when others overreact. His quiet is a discipline of control rather than a lack of feeling. The storm wrecks, but the Stoic stays undisturbed. In stillness, he sees what others miss. That type of clarity moves mountains. The gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man made perfect without trials. Seneca said, most people give up under duress. The Stoic hones. Most people erupt under an insult. The Stoic fortifies. Strength is how little you need to reply. It is not how loud you respond. You aren't flinching. You don't quarrel. You go as if it were inevitable. And the truth is that people do notice. Every room has the loudest person who draws attention, but the calmest one commands respect. Since calm is rare, silence becomes power in a culture hooked on reaction. Ignorance turns into influence, and presence starts to be power. Epictetus advised us to know that our mind participates in the provocation. If someone succeeds in triggering us, the Stoic thus refuses to turn over that control. He refuses to allow little words to occupy room in his head. He refuses to let failures define his speech. He leads his emotions. They do not lead him. That emotional disassociation is not apathy. It's strategic. Reacting to every mosquito will not help you develop an empire. The Stoic focuses his energy deliberately. He saves the banter and reserves his fire for the battle. Practically, first, walk into every difficulty with calm, deliberate energy. This helps one to approach it. It means when things go wrong, you ask, what now, not why me? It means being calm while others want you to fall apart. You start to be unstoppable by being unaffected. Most people fail here as well. They search for inspiration, but motivation comes from the emotional plane. It gets less clear. The clear replacement for it is the Stoic method, with control. His behavior is motivated by mission, not influenced by moods. Because of that, he starts to seem magnetic. People want to follow someone unruffled. Customers confide in someone who remains calm. Leaders rise from presence rather than from noise. The world follows those who, under great circumstances, can keep their pulse steady. So stop reacting, start commanding, get acquainted with the pause, speak through anarchy, let someone else follow the breeze. You become the anchor. Be not surprised, be irresistible, and see how the planet pauses to revolve around your attention. Secret number 7, delay gratification, accelerate mastery. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca famously observed, those phrases reveal a secret enemy, the lure of instantaneous gratification, which cuts deeper than most people would think. Everything in the modern world is geared for short hits, likes, alerts, fast meals, binge entertainment. The fastest way to lose your power, the Stoics realized, is to live for those ephemeral events. Masters of discipline, the Stoics recognized pleasure without purpose is poison. Not because they loathe pleasure, they welcomed discomfort as the furnace for brilliance, not ran from it. Marcus Aurelius remarked famously, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way turns into the path. This holds true for the temptation to compromise for simple gratification. As for outside challenges, see mastery as akin to sharpening a weapon. Every time you fight a moment of simple pleasure, from scrolling endlessly to grabbing junk food to quitting a challenge, you are honing that sword finer. You strengthen your mental stamina. You get toughness. You get momentum. The steady, deliberate labor adds up. The fleeting excitement is only noise here. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus said, delaying pleasure is mastery of one. It's the ability to turn down temporary pleasure in favor of a long-term vision. Someone who pursues distractions is not someone who creates legacies. You begin to create something rare, a mind tuned to withstand, adapt, and get stronger. When you fight the need for the quick cure, day by day, you stack your power in layers, brick by brick. Others squander time on fleeting highs. You are fast developing mastery and getting ready to triumph on a far higher level. This isn't about giving up something for the sake of suffering. It's about choice, deciding what counts most. Do you prefer transient pleasure or the endurance derived from patience? Choose the greater good, even if it's harder, the Stoics would advise. The benefit is that delayed gratification does not only develop discipline, it increases self-confidence. Nothing seems impossible when you know you can refuse the simple path out. Challenges loosen their hold. You rely on your system. You welcome the journey, knowing that every instant of restraint is an investment in unstoppable force. Recall that the world honors those who can wait, persevere, and concentrate. Delay gratification now, hasten mastery tomorrow, and see everything you wish come under your control by design, rather than by chance. Secret number 8, live like you've already won. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus said, this is a call to live your future self, beginning right now, not merely guidance. Too many wait for outside evidence, money, position, or validation before behaving as the person they want to be. The Stoic understanding was that this is a trap. Real power starts with you rather than with what you have. Living like you have already won involves projecting confidence and purpose before the world presents medals. It's about asserting your control over your own narrative, independent of the present soundtrack. Marcus Aurelius told himself, waste no more time debating what a good man should be. Be one. Here the emphasis is on being rather than wishing or waiting. In actual life, how does this look? It is showing up with calm confidence and quiet might, presenting yourself as someone who demands respect, not by loud boasting but by constant presence. Seneca advised, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more. That is poor. The rich perspective is to own what you want today by aligning your behavior and attitudes to that vision. There is a magnetic resonance to this alignment. People know it. Possibilities center on people who radiate success. The wisdom of Epictetus reminds us that this inner consistency rewires our reality. Living as though you have won opens a strong psychological secret. Your brain starts to see your behavior as a successful habit. It challenges you to see further ahead, take calculated risks, and gracefully manage failures. Recall, this is intentionality rather than conceit. Reacting to the world and building your own universe differ in their approaches. The power of choosing. The Stoics termed it prohairis. You decide who you will be, independent of past events or your starting point. Then quit waiting. Begin your being. Act with the assurance of someone who has already surmounted their difficulties and enter your power today. Move more, speak less. Long before the outside results catch up, let your energy and presence yell success. One of the most important secrets the Stoics passed on is this change in identity, a secret that turns average effort into great success. Live like you have already won, and see how the world twists to fit your new reality. Secret number 9, amor fati, love every outcome. Drawing much on Stoic philosophy, Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, my formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. The final Stoic secret and the crowning gem of mastery is this sentence. Amor fati means love of fate, and it demands something much beyond simple acceptance. It requires total love for all life presence. This concept is novel. Most people find difficulty difficult. They grumble over disappointments. They curse misfortune or bad luck. But the Stoics hold that real freedom comes from accepting reality precisely as it is, without doubt, without resentment. Marcus Aurelius said rather simply, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more appropriately fit your needs. Loving your fate means matching your will exactly with the flow of life itself. Why does this have such potency? Since opposition causes misery, fighting reality saps your vitality and distorts your judgment. But you become unstoppable when you adore every result, the successes, the setbacks, the unanticipated turns. You turn challenges into gasoline, mistakes into teachings, and suffering into power. Seneca reminded us that like work strengthens the body, difficulties strengthen the mind. Loving your fate is realizing every difficulty as a gift rather than a burden. The Stoic smiles not because he is ignorant, but because he understands the underlying significance of every event, even in the worst of times. Amor fati is active participation, not passive resignation. It is dancing with the turmoil of life, rather than allowing it to overwhelm us. You begin to flow when you stop fighting. Real success starts with that peace, for you find clarity when you love your fate. You discover strength. You become free. The pillar linking all the others is this secret: demand less. Love what occurs anyway. Turn challenges into weapons. Admire the challenges themselves. Show up empty-handed. Love all the emotions that surface. Calm your inner conflict. Love the internal conflicts. Try negative visualizing. Love the imagined loss. Be unconcerned. Embrace the anarchy. Wait for gratification, like the discipline. Live as you have already won. Love the trip, regardless of the result. Amor fati changes your whole connection with life from a precarious game. Transform chance into a magnificent dance of mastery. Love every result. Nothing can break your spirit. Everything becomes a stepping stone toward your actual desire. Welcome this last secret. Love your destiny not only willingly, but fervently as well. Grin at the tempest. Welcome the unknown. Dance with the wild rhythm of life, because with that love you become unbeatable. Right now you can possess the greatest power of a Stoic. The Stoics did not show aspirations using vision boards or a frenzy of bustle. Their motions were elegant and force-driven. The planet had no choice but to bend with interior alignment so exact. These 9 Stoic secrets are armor, not just success-oriented skills. They create an unquestionable life and an untouchable attitude.